Oh my God, Seas 19. Wait a minute.
Holy.
That means we're one away from Seas 20, which means Seas 20 will be about Devil May Cry 3 and Under the Mayo. Wow, what? How appropriate.
Our 20th episode anniversary is going to be about Under the Mayo. We just can't seem to escape this absolute fucking man.
20 starts with 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. We're going from DMC 5 to DMC 3. There's like stuff here.
You lost me, but absolutely, yeah, 100%.
Math and numbers.
Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be covering Under the Mayo's special video about Devil May Cry 2 since he's playing through the entire series. And while we do that, I'm going to attempt to race Mayo and complete Devil May Cry 2 before the video ends. I'm currently on the Mission 1 start screen.
Um, so we recorded and I uploaded the DMC1 response yesterday. I'm probably gonna wait a little bit to post this one, space out the content a bit. Especially since I'm not gonna be around or able to work on videos for most of next month. So yeah, this will probably go up probably next week, maybe.
Yeah, but you'll definitely give me the unlisted version, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Ah, of course.
Lovely.
Yep. Have you given the first one a listen yet?
Yeah, I got a decent way through it yesterday. It's a good rat, good rat.
It's a pretty good rat. I listened to a little bit of it and I was like, damn, this is awesome. Good shit.
Yeah, it was very fun to be back in the saddle. I'm assuming, real quick, before we actually start the video itself, I'm going to assume that everyone in the audience can like OBS is capturing what's currently being shown by Mayo right now.
Yes.
Can I just say, hey guys, I'd like to put a moratorium on something. When we talk about DMC2, can we stop using the exact same fucking clip to show how boring it is? Like, it has plenty of stuff in
I
it.
was just thinking this same clip was in Gaming Brit, but he also showed it for like 2 seconds. And also, if I remember correctly, the Super Best Friends used this clip at one point.
Yes, like literally everybody who wants to shit talk DMC2, and trust me, it's very easy, but literally everybody who talks about DMC2 to some extent, they all, every single fucking one of them, they use the exact same goddamn clip. And it's this fucking clip. I know this clip.
Kroby Cat used it, I think, also in his like, what is it? Devil Make Real Gamers Don't Skip DMC2.
Yeah.
Back when Kroby Cat was liked.
God, those were the fucking days, right?
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't really know. Like this clip's funny, yeah, but I don't know why.
Stop
I
using the exact same one, especially for a YouTuber who is like, at least as far as I'm concerned, notorious for using other people's footage for his own fucking videos, like
true.
constantly. Like I get it, you don't always like have the game on hand, or you don't always have the system that the game requires. I understand. Like for example, I don't have God of War, so if I wanted to use God of War footage, I would use somebody else's. But when you're reviewing the game, when you've got the game on hand, can you at least like try to use your footage most of the time?
Yeah, that would be nice. And yeah, again, there's so many like some of the bosses. Why does no one talk about the invisible fish that Lucia fights? Like that boss is awful.
True.
That boss is abysmally terrible.
It's very awful. Yeah, true. I don't know why most people don't really talk about it because like
I,
that
I,
one is
to be
like
fair, I just don't think most people play Lucia's campaign, so who knows?
that's fair. I think it's fair. I would also, if I were most people, I would just play Dante's. Actually, that's how it was when I was a kid. Whenever I got the HD collection on my PlayStation 3, I would just play Dante's campaign, and then like I think a year after I got the game, I played Lucius for the first time, and I was like, wait a minute, this actually feels better than playing Dante. What the fuck?
Yeah, I actually enjoy playing Lucia for the most part. Like, it's still a bad game, don't get me wrong, but like, I like the way she controls and moves. Like, she's extremely
I
like
I think she was made before
graceful.
Dante was.
I can believe it.
Because I think I take this with a grain of salt, but I think I remember hearing that at some point they were trying to make some sort of weird Tomb Raider clone at Capcom, and then at some point when DMC2 got greenlit, they were like, "All right, take this game that you've already started developing and just fucking put Dante in it."
Yeah, I could buy it.
And then we got Devil May Cry 2, which would explain why Lucia feels a lot better, even though it's not great.
I really need a like solid documentary with plenty of like interviews and stuff talking about the creation of this game because it
Yeah, it would be
it's like
it
the
would be interesting to
worst.
hear about.
It's like the worst production cycle nobody knows about, but everyone knows
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, everyone knows the result of it and like a few details. We only really know the details after Itsuno got on the team, and even then they're kind of sparse.
Like imagine if we knew everything about what killed the dinosaurs, but nothing about the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's Devil May Cry 2.
After description, yes.
Fucking
But yeah,
wild.
moral of the story: use different footage if you're gonna talk shit about DMC2. There's plenty. There's plenty of places you could talk shit about it. Just stop using the same exact clip.
Open my bag of carbon monoxide and the Krusty Krab. What the fuck?
Okay, but hypothetically, how would we close it?
Oh my god.
Now you've gotta edit the fucking video and put that like small clip in this part so that people know what the fuck is we're talking about.
Editing a S.E.E.S video. What are you, crazy? Nah.
True. I am very much crazy today.
You know what we should? Oh, you know what would actually be kind of fire though?
Hmm.
A S.E.E.S omnibus of Under the Mayo, where we like it's just a like back to back one massive like several hour long video of all of our coverage of Under the Mayo.
Uh, you know, that would actually be very easy to make.
That would be because it would literally just be putting it, adjusting audio and going back through them
Yeah.
to cut out anything like awkward pauses or whatever. But other than that,
I don't know if I'd go that far. That's a lot of footage to comb through.
no. Well, what I mean is like because like in our third one where we had like a small break at one point when talking about Simply Dad, it's like literally 3 minutes of just silence.
Oh,
So
okay.
anything like that. But yeah, that could be fun. That could be an enjoyable little time. Plus, you would just have to look at the audio bar and see like, oh, okay, the audio just flatlines here. Probably gonna delete that.
Yeah.
Assuming
Um,
assuming there is a moment like I don't know.
it would be cool to think about the fact that if we keep doing this for long enough, we are going to have people out there who will make S.E.E.S compilations. That would be pretty. That's pretty dope to think about.
True.
If not a
Hey,
little bit egotistical, but fuck you.
guys, fucking like, comment, subscribe, and share, and doo doo in my asshole if you want if you
And
want us to do an omnibus of Under the Mayo.
and also favorite the video. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Call back twice in a row.
be sure to send me a request on YouTube, friends.
Oh my fucking god! I forgot YouTube had a friends feature back in the day. Holy shit!
Right? I remember that. I had like two people added. One of them was I back in like 2008. We're really taking a flashback here. Um, at like the height of Fallout 3 being the coolest game ever at the time.
Oh
There
god.
there was a YouTuber I followed. I don't know how to pronounce it. It was like Orcidea, Orcidea. This dude from like New Zealand or something, and I think he still does like RPG content and stuff to this day. He would do like playthroughs and like guides and stuff, and I thought he was really cool because I was obsessed with
Nice.
Fallout 3 at the time, and he was one of my YouTube friends. I was super happy about it. I was like, yeah, man, this YouTuber with like 20K subs is my buddy. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Also, DMC2 does not have the thing that DMC1 had, where if you stinger off of an edge, you'll fly off of it. Dante just fucking falls immediately after getting off the ledge.
Now, if that is not the mark of being a shit game, I don't know what is.
A lot. There's a lot of possibilities. I'm on mission 2, by the way.
We should probably start then. Here we go.
Oh, he zoomed in this
Oh.
time. That makes it unique.
God.
True.
The PC port of this game freezes every time I tab out, so I can't take any notes on my PC while playing it, or I gotta restart the entire level after having to close the game.
Oh yeah, that is something that I forgot about. Yeah, it's just full screened by default, so like you can't edit the graphic settings to be like windowed or borderless window or anything like that. That's fucking
Oh,
hilarious. They didn't
dang.
even give enough of a shit about the port of this game to give it graphic settings for DMC2. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. I think DMC1 does the same thing though. I can't
So-
remember.
So, Devil May Cry 2 PS3 Master Race.
True.
Because on PS3 you can this is so random. You can change the what is it? You can go in your PS3 settings and change it to be to think you're in the PAL region, which will let you use cheat codes or whatever to get trophies. I don't know.
That's fucking wild to
I,
me.
I don't know why, but like I used the thing to get Trish with Infinite Devil Trigger and go through Bloody Palace because that Bloody Palace is pure hell. Also, DMC2
Oh
is the
yeah.
first game with Bloody Palace. It's really weird. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I have I think it's the PS3 Platinum Trophy for DMC2. Pretty much just because I was able to blow through it doing that, and it was kind of funny. So yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, I tried the other day to do Bloody Palace, or I tried like last month to do Bloody Palace with a friend, because he was like, "Yeah, I want to see this game's Bloody Palace," and then I went through like 10 stages as Trish because I'd finally unlocked her,
Hmm.
and he was like, "This is absolute pure fucking hell," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I told you it would be."
Oh, it's so bad. Oh my god, especially the later stages where it just becomes enemies spamming homing projectiles on you and you literally cannot even fucking move.
Oh yeah, that does sound pretty wild.
Oh, dude, it's so bad. It's hell. Like it
Dante's
really
top half is
sucks.
built like a fucking Dorito in this game.
He wait, what?
Dante's top half built like a fucking Dorito. Bro's shoulders are broad and he is triangle shaped.
That is an interesting observation.
It's the
That's
correct one, I would think.
a great start. Hello, I'm under the Mayo. Mayo to my friends, and that moron to my enemies.
Hey,
There we go yet again. He just can't fucking help himself.
wait a minute. Hold on. This is misrepresentative. We don't call him a moron. We call him a fucking idiot. All right, get it right.
True. True. And
My
boy, howdy, is it
enemies.
fun to do.
My enemies. Like, dude, calm down. You're not him.
You're not cool enough to do that sort
So
of
I'm
shit.
going through the DMC series. I really enjoyed DMC 1. I did a video on it. Good game. It has its flaws. It's a really old game at this point, but I liked it. Good challenge, good levels, good enemies. And for years, people have warned me about DMC 2. It's supposed to be terrible. I never looked into why, it's just what I heard. But you know what? I wanted to come to this game with an open mind.
You know, it's kind of funny. I remember when I first got the HD collection on PS3, and I actually hadn't played DMC2 at that point. I had a buddy who played it, but he never talked about it. And I was like, I've heard so much about DMC2 being bad. I want to see how it is for myself, though. And I played it, and I was like, oh, okay. Took me like 5 minutes, maybe, to realize, like, oh no, it ain't just all talk. Like, this game really is bad.
Yep. You don't even have to get through the first mission before you start to realize just like where, like how every aspect of the game is just rotted to the core.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that such an awesome franchise has such a bad game staple to it.
Yeah,
And not even
also
like
the fact,
and not even like a spin-off like I don't know, Resident Evil Code Veronica. No, I'm just joking. I just like to shit on Code Veronica. But no, really,
yeah,
it's not even like spin-off type. Like it's a mainline numbered type. It's the sequel to the first game. That's fucking wild to think about.
yeah, and it's also the fact that like we've talked about this briefly before, but I really hope that this series does not continue the trend of the even numbered entries being absolute like not complete dog shit in the case of DMC4, but like having like huge problems that hold them back from their potential.
Yeah, especially in terms of like their production cycles.
Yeah, 5 had a really good production cycle. It was basically able to do whatever the fuck they wanted, and it was really nice. It was cool.
Yep. Well resourced, well budgeted, and just a lot of
Same
creative
with
freedom.
3,
They had a blast with it. Yep.
and then with 4, everything was just fucking awful from the word go, just like DMC2.
Yep.
So I really hope that's not a curse for this franchise, and that we can break that trend with DMC6. Hideki,
That would be nice.
please.
Maybe I'll be surprised. Well, I'm fucking shocked. I had no idea it could be this bad. DMC2 is a game.
Wait a minute. He said the same thing about Resident Evil 8.
Oh my god, he
Now,
would, yeah.
now I know for all of your faults, and hey, we figured out yesterday, we figured out with the Devil May Cry 1 thing, it's not an issue of intelligence, it's not an issue of integrity, it's about intelligence. So, I don't know if you're comparing Devil May Cry 2 to Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 8's got some problems, I'll be the first to say. But I know we're not about to go down that road, because that would be a mistake.
No, he doesn't compare it to DMC or to Resident Evil 8 at all.
Devil May Cry 8,
It'd be really cool to get to that point, yeah.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, they're not Bethesda. They're not taking 15 years per game, so hey, maybe we will get it sometime soon. Who knows?
True. Also, you think Bethesda takes that long for a game? They take like 2 years max. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You
for
think
the...
they actually spend that time developing their games? Are you fucking crazy?
No, no, no. Every 2 years max. That's their rule of thumb with Skyrim remasters and ports.
True.
Game that is so bad it's baffling. As I played it, I was thinking, is this game even finished? The first thing that's completely screwed is the lock-on system. They've taken out the delayed input combos of DMC1, replacing them with combos that change depending on the direction you're pressing, like, for example, attacking 2 times and then holding forward and attacking again. It changes the combo. You can change a lot of combos in the middle by pressing different directions. On its face, this seems like a cool addition. However, like in DMC1, you can also hold lock-on.
Can we talk about how bad the stinger is in this game? Ugh.
Oh, it's so fucking awful. And what makes it even worse is the fact that this was the first asset in the entire fucking game that they like actually managed to port into the fucking game.
Yeah, it was like one of the
Like this
first...
was the first functional piece of the entire fucking game.
Yeah, and it's so bad. Ugh.
It's very bad.
It hurts.
It's just so like it's so like weighty, but at the same time extremely flaccid.
And the distance on it is fucking poo-poo.
Abysmal, yeah.
You're not closing any fucking, like... And the ironic...
You're not closing shit.
You know, the ironic part, I talked about in DMC1, it's better to just jump over to your opponents than to stinger to them if you want to close the distance. But in DMC2, Dante is so agile, it's the exact opposite. Like, Dante's jumps will get you right where you want to be.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's so weird.
And press forward or back plus attack to do different special moves, like Stinger or Air Launcher. This means you're unable to do directional input-based combos while holding the lock-on button. It's an incomprehensible oversight. It's frustrating because I really like being able to change combos like this. It's insane how they could design it this way so that you can't do these combos.
So you actually can do these combos while locked on. There's just a really fucked ass system for it. So L2 and R2 are dedicated to how the lock-on functions. If you hold L2, so because what happens in the game is that even if you don't hold the lock-on, the lock-on icon is still there. So Dante is sort of like soft locked onto the enemy. So if you hold down L2, Dante will lock off and he won't be locked onto any enemies whatsoever. Or if you hold L2, then Dante will be completely locked on without being in the lock-on animation. So you are locked on, but you have all of the freedom of movement of not being locked on. Really unintuitive, I know, but that's the way that you like actually like do grounded combos and everything. Is you just don't actually hold the lock on. You either hold L2 so that you stay locked on to the enemy you want, because it has this weird habit of like, if you don't hold L2, it'll like switch your fucking lock on targets randomly depending on who's like closest to you. So you hold L2, and then you're locked on to who you want to be locked on. It's a really awful system, I know.
I'm not even gonna lie, Chef. I think I comprehended about a third of what you just said. That shit is so fucking confusing.
It is. It's really weird. It's really confusing and really dumb. Basically, if you want to actually do the combat, hold L2, not R1.
Whack. Although I don't know, does Mayo use a control? Like, I know he doesn't for shooters, but does he use a controller for these games?
Yeah, no, he uses a controller for them, as far as I know. I specifically remember him referencing like actual like proper PS4 face buttons and everything. So I'm pretty sure he uses a controller for games like this. I would
Fair
assume
enough.
most people would.
Fair enough. Then again, I think he did reference the analog stick, so yeah, I guess so. Either way.
Yeah. Um, Either way, yeah, it's an extremely unintuitive and god awful system, and I
Like
get them out of the
imagine
fucking kit.
like imagine if Mayo's script writing was turned into a game mechanic, right? That's Devil May Cry 2's lock-on system.
You're
Wow.
not
Wow,
exactly
Loveless. That
wrong.
was a completely unnecessary yes.
Combos while on. But really, who cares about combos anyway? The challenge found in DMC 1 is completely absent in DMC 2. The AI is just standing there, waiting for me to attack. They rarely ever hurt me. Sometimes they just run circles around me while I shoot at them. It's a joke.
Oh my god, that fucking wolf fight can kill itself.
It's so
Oh!
awful.
Oh my god.
The
That
fucking
fight
Gary and
is
Frankie fight is one of the worst fights in like hack and slash history.
that fight made me want to put a cheese grater to my dick. Oh my god.
Completely understandable, brother. It was pretty
They just-
fucking bad, not
they
gonna
just
lie.
jump-
Like they just
They just keep jumping around non-fucking stop.
yeah,
they
you
just
like,
don't
can
stop.
never attack them.
They're like an Elden Ring enemy, but in Devil May Cry. I hate it.
Yeah. It's except in this case, once again, we're using fucking Dark Souls 2 mechanics.
Wow, Loveless. Elden Ring is not that bad, and you know it. Anyhow.
It's
I don't
been
know, it's pretty
missions
bad.
and I haven't died a single time without a single use of a healing potion. On more than one occasion, I beat a boss literally by standing still and just holding square.
So I say this. I say this completely. I say this completely agreeing with Mayo on this point that yeah, the game's stupid, dumb, easy, and that boss fight in particular is a joke. However,
It's very bad.
once again, I will say, and again, it not that it's an invalid critique here, but equating difficulty to how many times you die, it's just
It's not very good.
I don't like. Again, I don't disagree with him here. This all is totally fine. It's the principle that I take issue with.
I agree. Equating and also, equating difficulty once again to quality. It's not always mutually inclusive. I know for a game like Devil May Cry, you would want some degree of difficulty.
Yeah.
But
Oh man.
Overall-
Just
solid so far. I agree with the analysis. The game does very much fucking suck.
yeah, it's poo poo. It's not very good.
What the fuck?
That's the most emotion I've ever heard him use. Like, wow.
Yeah, and it was actually genuinely funny too.
Yeah.
And some of these bosses are only beatable by constantly shooting at them because they sit so far from you. The level 5 tank bosses can't even do anything to me when I'm up close, so I just mindlessly hacked away until they die.
And they just have so much health. They just take
They
fucking
do.
forever to
It's
kill.
so bad.
It really.
It's so bad.
That's the.
An enemy that is that shit has no reason being that fucking tanky. Pun intended.
That's the thing. It's like if they didn't have that much health, you'd still you'd breeze through them without even like you would notice this, but it wouldn't stick out nearly as bad, right? But when they have so much health, it's like, oh my god, the AI is really just sitting there and letting me beat the piss out of it. It's so weird. Holy crap, Lucy, we're 23 minutes in to this recording, and we're almost 3 minutes into the video. Like, this is insane.
That's pretty wild, yeah.
This is like
Honestly.
this is like the best
Honestly,
Mayo's done
good on
so
Mayo.
far. He's the best he's done so far. It's incredible.
And I guarantee he's gonna fuck it up by the end for us.
Aw.
And there's 3 of these, followed by a helicopter that you can only shoot at. It's awful. This boss got stuck on the geometry and it was game over.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
funny. I haven't-
Aurora is a pretty fucking wild enemy, let me tell you.
I was gonna say my last experience I had was playing this on Dante Must Die difficulty, and like I actually remember this fight kind of having it was kind of fun because it deals a lot of damage, he jumps around a lot, but I've never had this happen. Like, oh wow, that's wild.
Hilarious, even. One might even say it's fucking devilish.
Perhaps chuckle worthy.
Yep.
The best part is that he can still shoot it, so it's like there's literally nothing missing. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Flame Lurker in Demon Souls when you could get it caught on the giant rib cage and you just
Yeah,
sit there and spam magic. That's what this is. Only this is much worse because Flame Lurker is an awesome boss.
true. I've also found an exploit for one of the bosses where I can just stand in a corner and do nothing and just shoot at it. This
Oh
is
yeah?
fucking hilarious.
Which boss?
Yeah. Jokatgolm, the fucking
What the fuck
Medusa
is...
looking bitch.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, Devil May Cry 2 is the weirdest fucking names for its boss. Except for the Despair Embodied. That boss is legitimately awesome, and the name for it is really badass.
What, you don't like Argosax, the shit embodied?
Yeah, Argosax, the fucking feces. Ugh.
Oh my god. Aside from the boss fights, the level design is at times atrocious, and the environments are dull
No.
and uninspired.
No, not at times. It's just always atrocious.
I was gonna say, I can think of a couple instances like where things start to get kind of otherworldly, and it's like, ooh, that's cool. Like, I like the, well, I don't like the actual mechanical feel of this boss arena, but I like the look of the boss arena for the Trismegistus. That's really cool.
True. It's almost
And
Kingdom Heartsy in a way.
a little bit, yeah. And Despair Embodied and Argosax also have a really cool boss arena. But that's all I can really think about. What would you say is the best fight?
Actually,
What would you say
the
is the best fight in the game?
it's absolutely the Despaired Embodied. There's just no question whatsoever. Everybody says it, and the reason everybody says it is because of the fact that it's just kind of true. I think Dante, unfortunately, it's not all. There's still Trouble in Paradise because even with Despair Embodied actually being a genuinely good fight, Dante's just way too sticky in a lot of cases to actually be like enjoyable to fight the Despair Embodied with. But overall, it's the best one. In terms of arenas, I actually really like the one where you fight fucking Argosax's version when he's fighting Lucia. I actually really like that arena.
Oh yeah, where you're in the ravine or whatever. That was pretty cool.
Well, you start off in the ravine and then you get out into the ruined cityscape, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
There's like a bunch of
yeah.
purples and shit like that, and it's actually really striking.
I will say
I think
the what is it, the Nefarious, the giant building thing, like that arena is pretty cool, even though the boss itself is shit. Um
so bad.
I will say, Despair Embodied, I agree it's the best, but I also actually think there's an argument to be made that Bulwark is pretty cool too.
He is, unfortunately, his speed and Dante's slowness just make it even worse.
I think, yeah, that, and I don't care for what is it, Frecky and Gary, his dogs.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, those fucking awful pieces of shit. I want to die.
yeah, the fucking Capra demon energy is strong with that motherfucker. Um, I think if they'd done a little bit more with Bulwark and taken away the dogs, that would have actually been a like legit really cool boss.
Yeah.
And I like his
Straight.
lore. His lore is really cool.
Oh yeah. It's always nice to find somebody else who like knew Sparta, even if we don't really get to hear anything from him.
Yeah, because he was like a rival or some shit. It's really cool.
Hmm.
And empty. The cool castle of DMC1 has been traded for empty city streets and skyscrapers with no interesting bits of exploration.
I will say, like that arena, like bearing in mind the game came out in 2003, like this environment looks good.
Oh yeah.
It's just the
This
fact
is actually
it's just the fact that it's so big and like you don't
yeah. This is
this
this
isn't
is the remnant. Sorry, go ahead.
this isn't prototype. You're not running from building to building and jumping around and shit. But like, I could see this arena looking good and feeling good to run around in another
Yeah,
game.
this city area in that mission is actually like the remnants of that idea that I was talking about yesterday,
Manhattan.
where yeah, it was supposed to be like Manhattan, and you were supposed to be able to like run around and free roam and jump on buildings and shit like that. And then they obviously scrapped it because that's fucking stupid.
Yep. What could have been?
I think it'd be interesting to have a free roam DMC game, but I don't. I think in order to have a free roam DMC game, you would have to sacrifice something about DMC that makes it what it is.
You would need to rework the entire structure and not to mention mechanics to fit in that type of environment, and that could be very bad. It could turn out really great, but eh.
Yeah. God knows I'd love to explore this world more.
True.
No meaningful sense of backtracking, and enemy encounters that can largely be ignored. The camera system is definitely worse than DMC1. You still get the same problems where enemies can be off-screen, but it's 10 times as bad, as you're fighting flying enemies, shooting your guns in the air at who.
I just love the fucking.
Using the rocket launcher, you poor fucking baby. That's such a bad decision.
I just gotta say, I really love Abyss Goat. It's just like, I don't know, there's something
Oh,
really
yeah.
silly sounding about that. Especially with the bosses being, Naskafalolenku or some bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
I agree, though. No, I can recall so many instances of enemies just being, like, perpetually off screen, and it's like, I just have to hold down R1 and press the shoot button because
Yeah.
not even because that's the only way to fight, but because that's literally the only way I can hope for my attacks to continue to hit them. Or
Yeah,
else,
'cause
or else
God knows I'm
Dante will,
not-
or else Dante will go off the fucking screen, and then I just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, because God fucking knows actually getting to the enemies is the worst.
Oh man, it's bad. It's poo poo.
Oh, I'm at the Gary and Frecky fight.
Oh nice.
Who knows what because you can't see. The helicopter boss is too high to see half the time,
Yep.
and this giant moth or whatever it is floats so high up that you can't attack.
Look at this fucking name, Noctpterin. Like, who wrote this? I dare ask.
I would imagine. I would imagine that it has something to do with some like ancient language or something like that.
It's, I mean, Eldritch
I would
horrors.
go-
I think Devil May Cry 2 was kind of going for an Eldritch feel with some of
Probably
not
that
even
would make sense.
not even just the naming, but like some of the designs and stuff. Despair Embodied.
Yeah.
Despair Embodied is especially like really Lovecraftian feel to it. Um, Also, yeah, it sucks because like I feel like a giant moth. Like you think to yourself, Devil May Cry giant moth boss. Like that sounds like something that would be fucking cool to look at. And it's like first of
Oh,
all,
absolutely.
it's like first of all you can't even see it half the time, and also it's kind of ugly too because in Devil May Cry 2 most things are unfortunately very ugly.
Yeah, especially fucking like this is the series that made a fucking like lava spider scorpion look cool. So
Oh yeah,
obviously seeing a moth would be awesome too.
they also made a
Or, like
bird,
some,
so it was just a big bird. And he fires lasers. Fucking awesome.
and he's the fucking best. He's one of my favorite fights in DMC one.
Hell yeah.
It with your. You just gotta shoot it when you can actually see it, and then rage every time you're targeting auto switches to the infinitely.
Yeah, because like look at that. It actually looks like there's something about
It
the
looks
visual
actually
design.
kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks like fucking like demonic Mothra or something. What could have been, you know?
It's
Also,
it's
yeah,
it's,
the little worms that go around, that's the worst part of this fight by far.
they're the
Those things are
worst.
fucking suck.
And the fact that you have to kill all of the ones that are spawned in before you can actually proceed, even if you've already killed the boss. Because thank you.
Yeah.
And they also have like one attack that is just eating you, and like there's like no chances to punish them with anything but your guns.
Yeah, because they have like a command grab and it's like why? Ew.
Spawning worms on the ground. The cutscenes are unimpressive, Dante is far more boring and silent than he used to be. The playful humor of DMC1 that was mixed into the serious action is so toned down it's essentially non-existent. And the upgrade system is terrible.
I will say, Dante has some fire one-liners in this game, but I do agree, the general atmosphere is way more dark. I
It's
don't e-
way too dreary.
Yeah, not even dark,
apparently
just
the-
dreary compared to even the first game. Which even the first game, compared to like 3 and 5 and even 4, it's like that game's nowhere near as campy as some of those others get.
Yeah, and part of the reason that DMC like works and one absolutely helped establish this is the fact that like you've got such a dreary environment where all of the enemies take themselves super seriously, and then Dante is just not here for it at all. He's fucking clowning on everybody, and it's a nice contrast. But that doesn't really work when you have a dreary atmosphere and your protagonist has about as much charisma as a piece of fucking cardboard that's inside of a cardboard sandwich.
Yeah, like Dante just seems bored, like throughout all of this.
And it's not in the DMC4 cool way of being bored, where he like made the most of a bad situation by just fucking clowning on everybody. No, he's just fucking
Like
get it right.
he's genuinely so uninterested. He's like, I'm here
And
to collect a
part of the
paycheck
reason
because I can't flush my toilet.
and part of the reason that this happened in the first place actually is entirely because of the original director for the game. He didn't like Dante's attitude in the slightest, so he mandated that they completely change it.
All right, this original director. We didn't have beef until this point, but now we got some fucking beef.
I don't
Origi-
know. I had a lot of beef up until this point because he's the
I
one
mean,
who made Devil May Cry 2.
true, but he also left like halfway through.
Fair, but unfortunately, just too much of the DNA that he had already made was there for them to change it.
Yeah, sadly.
And unfortunately, Dante was one of those pieces.
It's
God, it
kind of
sucks so bad.
it's kind of wild to think the best case scenario for this game, following the original guy leaving, was that like the best outcome they could have gone for was just copy pasting as much of DMC one as possible, but making new cutscenes and like environments and stuff, you know, and
Pretty much, yeah. That would have
like a
been like
reskin DMC one basically with a marginally different story. Like that's the best case this game had going for it. That's pretty bad.
yeah. And what's even funnier is that the only time that this game is semi enjoyable is when you're using Trish, and it's because of the fact that she's just DMC one's combat.
Yeah, she's literally just DMC one Dante, but also she has like energy blasts, which I mean, hey, that's cool.
And even then, it's still fucking miserable.
Yeah, it's not good.
In the last game, you could upgrade your sword by getting new moves. Now it just upgrades to the next level, whatever that means. I guess it's damage, but it feels really unsatisfying to dump red orbs into upgrading because there's no feedback. All sense of progression has been stripped out. You're not gaining any new tools to play around with other than guns. But the pistols are already so insanely powerful that a lot of fights are winnable by just standing back and holding the fire button. What the fuck? Honestly, I'm confused. I don't know the history of DMC development, I'm a casual fan. But I gotta know, how does a game end up being this bad? Was it actually an unfinished product? Even if it is unfinished, that doesn't explain how bad the level design is. Well, I looked into it, and by that I mean I watched the Spear Hunters video on DMC2, and the
Based.
story is that DMC2 was given to an unknown director instead of using the director of the original game. They started going in some bad directions and listened.
Oh yeah, and by the way, part of the reason why DMC2 wasn't actually given to Kamiya was because of the fact that Devil May Cry 2's development got greenlit while they were still localizing Devil May Cry 1. So Kamiya was busy with that. And then, whenever Kamiya was finally free, they gave him another game, Beautiful Joe, instead of
Yeah,
just making him the director of DMC2. So all in all, no matter what happened, this game was doomed to fail from the start. And
yep.
apparently, them giving DMC2 over to a completely different director, who was untested, by the way, it's basically like the straw that broke the camel's back that made Kamiya want to leave the company after making Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. On one hand, I can't blame Kamiya for being pretty pissed about that, but at the same time, knowing who Kamiya is now, I'm like, nah, you're kind of a fucking asshole. So I don't know. I can't really feel bad for you. But no, it was a stupid move business wise, anyways. To like, why?
Yeah, like it's just so baffling to me the thought process of these executives. It's like part of the reason it's companies just don't seem to understand that part of the reason why things are successful and why they have so much like strong fan bases is because of the fact that there's like a personality and like heart poured into things whenever they're made by somebody who's actually passionate about them, like
There's a
Kamiya. Because
person
say what
there,
you want
there's
about
a
him,
person with a very specific vision guiding the direction of the
yeah.
product.
Because say what you want about Kamiya, he has a lot of passions for the game or passion for the games that he makes, and that shines through for the most part.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
when you take that away and just give it to somebody who just completely and totally disagrees with the entire main point of the game that he's making, it's just awful. Get people who respect the things that they're making, please. Fucking, I'd love to make a Devil May Cry game. I'd fucking make a good Devil May Cry 2. Fuck you.
I like to think I
So,
would, but I also know nothing about actual like directing production.
neither do I.
Either way, if I had the experience and the know-how, oh yeah, boy. Oh yeah, remember when I had a fucking video idea for a Devil May Cry 6 pitch? Because I was like, oh, my Dead Space 4 pitch had some good views. I'm gonna do something else. And I wrote an entire, like, 4.5 hour script for Devil May Cry 6. And then I just didn't make it.
Yeah, trust me, I understand that. At least you're able to actually get video essays out. That's still untested for me.
I mean, you made the DMC one. That one was pretty cool.
True. It is possible for me. I just
Yeah.
have to actually fucking get to it.
Yeah.
To a bunch of player surveys complaining about DMC 1's difficulty, which led to DMC 2 becoming way too easy. And then 4 months before release, the project was given to another director with more experience, and he did his best to fix the giant mess he was given. Okay, that makes a lot of sense given what I've just experienced. So this is a universally agreed on bad game, I see that. Fans of the series know it's bad, so I don't see much point in going into a 20-minute analysis of its failures 20 years after the fact. But it does leave me with a question. Why does everyone hate how easy this game is? Because in my interactions with fans of DMC, Ultra Kill, Bayonetta, and other games that
No.
create communities of people obsessed with style meters and ranking systems and combos, I constantly hear that it's the player's fault if they're bored.
Oh no.
Yep. You remember how I told you that he would somehow make a video like this, something that we would heavily disagree with? Yeah, this is the part of the video where that happens. So I already basically know like the basic structure of what he's going to do, and I'm sorry, Mayo, it doesn't actually apply here. Devil May Cry 2 is just a genuinely poorly
Oh
made
my
game, and
god.
Devil May Cry 5 is not poorly made. I
All
hate to say
right,
it.
let's rewind this a bit and let's hear this in full context.
Analysis of its failures 20 years after the fact. But it does leave me with a question. Why does everyone hate how easy this game is? Because in my interactions with fans of DMC, Ultra Kill, Bayonetta, and other games that create communities of people obsessed with style meters and ranking systems and combos, I constantly hear that it's the player's fault if they're bored. On this channel, I have regularly criticized style meter games for being poorly balanced with terrible AI and just being easy to mash through mindlessly without the game pushing you into playing more intelligently and more stylishly to survive. I've
And I should mention before you continue on this point, you have not actually proven with any of these games to be the case, unless you actually did it for Bayonetta, because I haven't seen that video. However, I have played a decent way through Bayonetta, and there's no fucking way you're actually correct on that. That game is actually very difficult.
There's I have so much to say already, but I want to hear all of this in
I get
full.
that. I just wanted to get that in there because I just had to say that.
heard
This
that this isn't a problem because the point of these games isn't for them to be challenging. The point is for you to go in and experiment and find fun stuff to do. You don't need to be punished by the game for playing in a boring way. That's supposedly a childish way to think. It's my fault for picking the boring option. I'm sorry to bring up the Ultra Kill fiasco again, but why is it that when I say the starting pistol of
he is not about to. Oh my fucking god. Okay,
Yep.
I gotta stop this right here. Holy sh! Oh my oh my god.
I'll go ahead and let you speak first.
Oh my god. So if there was ever,
It's
if
true,
there
though.
was ever, if any of you motherfuckers that defend Mayo even think about commenting ever again that, wow, you're mischaracterizing him by saying the only thing he finds fun is when a game is super duper hard. This is he literally cannot look past. He thinks that people are actually saying the only reason Devil May Cry 2 is bad is because it's fucking easy. You have to be a fucking moron with half of a brain, which is half functional itself, to actually think that is the only fucking problem with this game. Is he actually that stupid? Well, we figured what the fucking hell, I just heard it echo. We figured with the Devil May Cry 1 coverage that, yeah, apparently it's his intelligence. So I'm left to believe he's actually so fucking stupid that he believes the only problem people have with Devil May Cry 2 is that it's a fucking easy game. This dude is a fucking idiot. Oh my god. I have never heard something so vapid and retarded in my fucking life. Fuck this guy. I feel bad saying that, but at the same time, not the rant, just saying retarded like that. But oh my god, what a fucking idiot! This
Especially considering the fact that he just it's like I said in his DMC one video, he was a lot more tame then, and I think it's because of the fact that he knew that if he probably knew that if he talked too much shit about the fans and everything in that video for a game that they actually like and respect, he might get a lot more flack. But of course, he's doing it in this video because he can get away with it a lot better. But it's like I said in the last video. It's just it's like clockwork. He just every time that he talks about difficulty, he just has to make a stab at the fans, everything like that.
I'm childish for playing in the least fun way when they get home. Like how stupid can a person be? Is a fat Mayo is a fascinating exploration into that very question. I swear to God.
He's like a case study that got intelligence, quote unquote.
But not self-awareness. It is incredible. Okay, let me rewind. I gotta hear a little bit of this again.
Mm-hmm.
Fault for picking the boring option. I'm sorry to bring up the Ultra Kill fiasco again, but why is it that when I say the starting pistol of Ultra Kill is already so powerful that there's no need to use other weapons for most of Act 1, that's controversial, but every video I see criticizing DMC2 talks about how the pistols are way too powerful and they trivialize the combat? Well, then just don't use the pistols, right? That's what I've been told. If you're using an easy, boring option that works, it's on you. It's not the game's fault for being unbalanced. That's what I've heard. I don't agree with that, but I'm curious what the difference is here.
Okay, wow, holy shit. He needs us to explain the difference between using pistols to slowly kill enemies one by one in Devil May Cry 2 versus using wacky wahoo combos to quickly dispatch of enemies in a really fun and exciting and cool looking way in the much more polished and refined Devil May Cry 5 or Ultra Kill. Holy shit, he needs someone to explain this to him. Oh, I've never been so frustrated with how stupid someone could be in my fucking life.
So, for clarification, the difference is that in the case of Devil May Cry 5, we have a really well designed and polished and tightly crafted game that has expertly implemented mechanics, weapon variety, enemies, and everything like that.
And not to mention
Wherein
at its base, great hit feedback, flashy animations that are satisfying to see happen, colorful and exciting animations, and like there's so much stuff that goes into this visual appeal versus Devil May Cry 2, which is really boring to look at because it's got a bland, dull color palette. The animations aren't that good. The hit feedback is god fucking awful. It is a really unsatisfying game to play even at a high level. Like
and the
no.
balance in that game is actually genuinely really, really fucking bad.
Yeah, the guns in Devil May Cry 2 being able to stun lock enemies but not kill them quickly is extremely boring. But the issue with that is, first of all, when you go into Devil Trigger, the guns just completely shred them. And second, there's not enough in the melee combat to act as a counterbalance to negate that issue. Because if, like, let's say the guns were the exact same as they were in Devil May Cry 2, but otherwise it played like Devil May Cry 5. Let's see. What would you rather do? Sit there slowly watching enemies' health whittle away while Dante just goes bang, 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 bang over and over? Or would you do these insane, flashy animations that are satisfying to pull off and you get big rewards for? Gee, I fucking wonder what I would want to do in that scenario.
I think I'd mash triangle.
Yeah, mash triangle in the direction that the enemy's not while not having locked onto them and then saying, look, the game's easy, and then not showing footage of trying to do that on a tougher enemy because obviously you get your ass kicked. Ugh!
Yeah.
Oh my god, we were doing so good, Lucy. We were doing so good.
We were doing so good, El. We were doing so good.
I'm like,
We were doing so fucking good.
I'm shaking. I'm genuinely fucking mad that someone is this stupid. It fucking boggles my mind.
It is.
I
It is pretty wild.
like he has said so much stupid. This is the dumbest thing he's ever said. I cannot believe I'm actually saying it. He has said some fucking stupid shit. But this might be this might be the dumbest argument I've ever heard any fucking person make in my life. Like this is mind-boggling to me how night and day the difference is in what he's talking about is and how he just cannot grasp it. Like imagine looking and you're not colorblind in any way at like yellow and blue and you're looking at yellow and blue and you're like, gee, they're the same fucking thing. Like, no, they're not, you dumb fuck.
Or like purple and blue and being like, oh my god, Nero's coat is purple. And it's
Oh
like,
my god.
no, no, it's really not.
I look, I'd like to issue a formal apology to literally everyone we've ever called stupid on this podcast in my life, because you do not deserve to be mentioned alongside this fucking troglodyte. You are nothing as far as your stupidity compared to this fucking jar of condiment cum. Oh my
I would like to
god.
make a callback to a previous video. Can I file an assault charge on a video?
Yeah, this dude assaulted my brain with his stupidity. Holy shit. Wow, a person,
it's
no,
just
Lucy, you have to understand. A person wrote down, a person cataloged these thoughts. First of all, they produced these thoughts. Second of all, they cataloged them, wrote them down in notes. Because he said, first of all, he said at the start of this video he makes notes while he plays games. You know, he was talking about the tab and the game freezing and all that. First of all,
yeah,
that means that
very hard to believe.
this guy takes notes, which is scary because holy fuck, they're ineffective. So what he actually writes down is, it's like a Schrodinger's note. Like I don't know what it could be.
Does it
Um,
exist? Does it really exist? We'll never know unless he posts them.
we'll never fucking know. Like, he had these thoughts, cataloged them, noted them, and tried to formulate a script around them, and produced it in a video. Recorded himself saying it. Went over that footage. Went over that recording to edit it. Put that recording in the video, and then edited the video. Must have reviewed it a couple of times over. And this is still the final product. I'm baffled. Lucy, help me, please. I'm scared. I'm scared, Lucy. I'm hurting. I don't know. I I haven't tripped this bad in a while, and you have to realize I watched Cocaine Bear fucking fried out of my mind on 420. Okay, so
It's okay.
I'm losing my fucking mind.
Okay, Al, it's okay. I can help you understand this very easily. It's all right. This is very much not eldritch knowledge. Okay, you will be okay. This is somebody who is just really, really incapable of grasping any opinion or any viewpoint that is not his own, and is desperately trying everything within his or within his power to just say, "Nah, nah, I'm right. You guys are wrong. I'm looking at a game that is genuinely."
I'm fucking. I can't, I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Lucy. Lucy. I can't fucking believe it. Under the Mayo finally used 3% of his power and he fucking broke me. Holy shit. I can't, I can't, man. I can't fucking do this. I fucking. Oh my fucking god, I've never heard this. This stuff is so fucking stupid. I can't believe I've reached this point in my life where every decision I've ever made has led me to this point. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Under the Mayo's video on Devil May Cry 2 is doing to me what Devil May Cry 2 did to Under the Mayo. I, I can't, I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I needed a moment. I really, really needed a moment to just. I can't believe a human being has produced this. I genuinely. Maybe he actually is a fucking jar of mayonnaise. Who knows? Oh my god. Lucy, are you there? Alright. Okay. So, for the sake of ensuring that I just haven't gone completely insane, I want to watch. I need to watch this from just from the not from the beginning, but this point from the beginning. I just need to watch it again.
This is a universally agreed on bad game, I see that. Fans of the series know it's bad, so I don't see much point in going into a 20-minute analysis of its failures 20 years after the fact. But it does leave me with a question. Why does everyone hate how easy this game is? Because in my interactions with fans of DMC, Ultra Kill, Bayonetta, and other games that create communities of people obsessed with style meters and ranking systems and combos, I constantly hear that it's the player's fault if they're bored. On this channel, I have regularly criticized style meter games for being poorly balanced with terrible AI and just being easy to mash through mindlessly without the game pushing you into playing more intelligently and more stylishly to survive. I've heard that this isn't a problem because the point of these games isn't for them to be challenging, the point is for you to go in and experiment and find fun stuff to do. You don't need to be punished by the game for playing in a boring way. That's supposedly a childish way to think. It's my fault for picking the boring option. I'm sorry to bring up the Ultra Kill fiasco again, but why is it that when I say the starting pistol of Ultra Kill is already so powerful that there's no need to use other weapons for most of Act 1, that's controversial, but every video I see criticizing DMC2 talks about how the pistols are way too powerful and they trivialize the combat? Well then just don't use the pistols.
I also just because I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Ultra Kill a little bit, and hopefully Lucy will be back soon enough to also talk about it. Um, so for those of you who've actually played Ultra Kill, because I'm genuinely starting to believe that Under the Mayo just did not play it. Like I'm struggling to actually believe that this dude played Ultra Kill, Act 1 at the very least, I guess it would be. Because Lucy and I played it, we found it pretty challenging. There were a couple of points where I was like, "Holy shit!" and there was one point where I was like, "This is a little too much for, so early on." Oh shoot, I can't remember. Is it like it's like V2? It's kind of like the player character, right? Um, I found that one to be a really steep jump in difficulty. But anywho, putting that aside, the pistol in Ultra Kill is not. It is not. I don't know where he's getting this impression that the pistol in Ultra Kill is just completely busted, because it's not. And I know this because I played it. I can see it being extremely powerful in the hands of a very skilled player with the coin flip and all that. And me, I'll be the first to say it. I'm not the best first-person shooter player out there. I've played a lot of them over the years, but that coin flip thing with me, I was just like, damn, that like there's so much going on in the fights that I have trouble focusing on that. That was part of my struggle with Ultra Kill, is that I just thought there was so much going on. And the charge shot does not. It's not fucking gonna carry you either. So, again, maybe against these baby enemies, but I struggle to believe that this guy is being serious. So, comparing the pistol from Ultra Kill, a weapon that's very useful, very strong in the hands of an extremely skilled player and someone who's wanting to get good with it, to the guns in Devil May Cry, in Devil May Cry 2, where all you have to do is lock onto an enemy, tap or hold R1, depending on whatever your preference is on toggle, and hold down square, and your enemy is now, for the most part, most enemies in the game are now stun locked, completely incapable of fighting back, while their health whittles away very slowly, and you don't get any reward for it, any tangible, like style meter and red orbs. I dare say that the latter is different than the former. I dare say that Devil May Cry 2's pistols are a little bit different than the pistol from Ultra Kill, having played both games. I can believe, based off what he said, that Under the Mayo has played Devil May Cry 2. I'm starting to believe less and less that he's actually played Ultra Kill, and maybe that footage is just jacked from someone else. I don't know. But holy shit, dude. What a dumb comparison. What a fascinatingly dumb comparison. I cannot believe a human being is saying these words in this order with this intention. and these emotions. Well, what little emotions that Under the Mayo can convey, anyways.
Right? That's what I've been told. If you're using an easy, boring option that works, it's on you. It's not the game's fault
It is not the same thing. Please shut the fuck up.
for being unbalanced. That's what I've heard. I don't agree with that, but I'm curious what the difference is here. Setting aside the other things that make DMC2 bad, just talking about the stylish combo-based gameplay. It seems like DMC2 is the shining example of what I've been talking about. Because I've seen DMC2 combo videos. You can do some pretty cool stylish stuff, especially with the extended air juggles and aerial gunshots. You've got all these ways to customize your devil trigger using guns and grounded combo strings. You can have fun in DMC2. You can experiment and find crazy fun combo juggles and stylish ways to kill all the enemies in the room. If you choose to.
Oh my god. Okay, so can you do flashy combos in Devil May Cry 2? Yes. Yes, you can. What does that require of you? Well, let's see. For high-level combos like the ones he's trying to show off, you have to be willing to sit down, learn all the animations and their nuances, learn about the different enemy types and their nuances, come up with ways to formulate how you can possibly string these together versus the natural ways that you can intuit it in games like Devil May Cry 3 and 5, where you go, oh, hey, I just enemy stepped after this one attack that lets me start off a whole new combo. Very simple thing that your brain can put together. It is not the same thing. You have to really sit down and educate yourself on Devil May Cry 2. You have to basically take a college course on this game that's not even that fun to begin with. And bear in mind, just because even if we were to ignore that, you're still not getting the satisfaction that you get from those other games, because those other games, one, have variety, two, look a lot better, and three, have much better hit feedback. Down to their core, in the most basic and fundamental ways, these are very different games you're trying to compare. You could make this argument for literally anything. Oh, well, people have really cool looking speedruns for all kinds of really bad games, so why are those bad games considered worse than fucking, Doom 2016? Oh, gee, I don't know, maybe it's because Doom 2016 is a much more polished and refined game with much more nuanced and complex mechanics to work with, versus those games like, I don't fucking know, Time Shift, that are really fucking bad to begin with. Oh my god, what a fascinatingly stupid fucking comparison. I'm mind boggled. I truly am. I don't know how a human being unironically like formulates these thoughts in this order. Hi Lucy, what's up? Oh no. Anywho, yeah, holy fuck, having to.
Sorry,
Oh yeah,
I was called away for a second. Something required my attention.
you're good. Did you catch any of what I said?
Unfortunately, not. I vaguely heard you in my headphones for a second or two, but I did not catch the majority of what you said.
So the first thing that happened, pretty much right after you left, I had a mental breakdown and just started laughing uncontrollably. Have have fun listening to that on the replay.
Oh,
Also,
I will.
so Under the Mayo started talking about, oh well, I've seen stylish Devil May Cry 2 videos where people do all these crazy combos, so why don't people just want to learn those? And
Oh God.
I cannot believe I had to explain that there is a fundamental difference in having to sit down and take a college course on a game that's not very good to begin with versus naturally intuiting really cool little things you can do to mix things up in a game like Devil May Cry 5. You know, and I made the analogy of like, oh well, you can do a really cool speed run where you take advantage of all the mechanics of a really shit game. So why is that any different than a regular game that's really considered really good, like Doom 2016, where you can also do speed? Like, motherfucker, are you fucking serious with this?
Yeah. So the big difference is that the game has to be good first of all, and Devil May Cry 2 is pretty firmly like even you agree, like it's not good in the slightest.
Yeah, the like, oh my god, I'm genuinely struggling
I know. I can
because
hear it in
like
your voice.
because like the difference is so fucking fundamental and basic that you should naturally be able to just figure this out through common sense. Um and I said it earlier, like Devil May Cry 2, let's see. The animations aren't very good. You have to, in order to make those combos and stuff, you have to learn all the nuances of the enemy's movement, Dante's movement, or Lucia's in her case. Um, you have to sit through what is unsatisfying hit feedback, and you have to do this repeatedly to master these combos. Whereas again, in something like Devil May Cry 5, you can pull off a pretty basic but still cool looking combo that is rewarding without having to basically take a college course and repeatedly grind an unfun experience. And the fact that I had to explain that for this fucking troglodyte to understand is truly mind-boggling to me.
It's pretty wild, yeah. I would agree.
Like, wow,
I think
you
you're
can
pretty spot on with your analysis of the video, even though I didn't get to see like everything that you were talking about because I had to be away.
right. Well, yeah, I think you'll enjoy the replay for what that's worth. Um oh man, wow. I'm offended is what I am. I'm offended.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm also offended. This is pretty bad. It's pretty
Um
pretty not great.
I'll rewind up to where around you left just in case you hear anything that you specifically want to
I'm also
respond to.
calling it on mission 7. I'm not playing the game further past that point. It's really fucking boring.
That is fair.
Ultra Kill fiasco again, but why is it that when I say the starting pistol of Ultra Kill is already so powerful that there's no
Oh yeah, I also had to explain the fact that Ultra Kill having a pistol that's really good in the hands of a really good player is a little bit different than Devil May Cry 2 having a pistol set that you literally just have to sit down and hold a single button on and it will stagger lock the majority of enemies. Really sad that I had to explain the difference there, but I guess that's the level we're at. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. It's basically night and day in terms of the actual like context and reasoning behind it, and yeah, it's just you're 100% off the mark here.
need weapons for most of Act 1, that's controversial, but every video I see criticizing DMC2
Also, I just gotta say, looking at his
Oh,
Ultra Kill footage again, it's really interesting that we're only seeing footage of him using this pistol on the
I
very
was
basic
I was
enemies.
yeah, I was about to say the exact same fucking thing. I'm glad we're on the same page
It's
because
really
yeah,
funny
it makes
it's really funny what you start to notice when you actually like watch and listen to these mind-bogglingly stupid videos.
yep, which is why people out there, if you are going to watch a video essay. I know, it's very common. I completely understand for people to put something on, especially from a creator they like, and just sort of like put it on in the background and not really watch it. I get that 100%, but it's really important to actually watch the videos that are being produced by the people that you're supporting because this kind of stuff and them just not caring or them intentionally lying or being misinformative and having not enough people calling them out on their bullshit. This is how low quality shit gets made. And I think part of the reason that this stuff like this happens, especially with Mayo, is because of the fact that he just does not have enough people who are willing to call him out and say, hey, what you said here is really bullshit and it's really wrong and it's kind of scummy that you're not giving us like the whole picture. Because I guarantee that if I tried, I'm not amazing at Ultra Kill and I'm not amazing at shooters. I guarantee if I booted up Ultra Kill right now and tried to go through the majority of Act 1, barring, actually, no, just the majority of Act 1 with just the basic pistol, I would have an extremely difficult time. I could guarantee it.
Yeah, I remember at some points in Ultra Kill, I was like, I'm noticing the difficulty go up. I'm gonna specifically use the pistol. Oh, gee, wow, it's not just insta-killing everything in my way like under the Mayo implied it would. Isn't that something? Like when you actually try to,
Research.
when you try to apply what he says to the actual gameplay, things being different on paperwork versus execution and all that. It's really interesting.
And also, just because you were capable of and succeeded in doing something that is extremely monotonous and tedious in a game does not mean that it is the game's fault or that the game is poorly made because of it. I can boot up Devil May Cry 5 right now and kill DMD Goliath with nothing but the
I
Mega
was
Buster.
just
I've
thinking
done
about
it.
that. I knew
I've
you were going to say that
literally done
too.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've literally done it. The game is not bad just because that was an extremely miserable experience. Nor is it anybody's fault but my own for choosing that experience for myself.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, when it comes to Devil May Cry 2, I remember in my few times that I've played it, which I think I've played it like 5 times now. Um, I would I would still typically try and do combos and things like that, and it doesn't really help. Like I said, the hit feedback is still boring. The animations are not exciting. The game's boring to look at. It,
The enemies get staggered way better by your handguns than they do actual sword combos as well, which is hilarious to me.
yeah, the actual combo system, as under the Mayo himself fucking pointed out earlier in the video, is not very well devised. There's not great audio cues for like specific, like hitting a fully revved aerial ray from Nero, right? Like that shit feels good because you hear that kind of that sound effect
Yeah,
to
the
it.
fucking the
Like,
extremely good hit feedback and sound effect of the
yeah,
fucking rev sound. Yeah, fuck
Devil
brain.
Devil May
Ugh.
Cry 2 has literally none of that. Unless you're playing Lucia, then the animations have like a nice flow to that. There's a sort of elegance. I actually enjoy somewhat playing Lucia. It's still bad, but like there's more there at the very least. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, oh man, Lucy, you're
Imagine.
Lucy, you're gonna have a good laugh at my fucking mental break around the time you left, because
Oh, I already know that I will.
oh
And
man,
I thank you for taking that mental breakdown for me so that I could enjoy it later on.
holy shit.
It talks about how the pistols are way too powerful and they trivialize the combat.
Yep.
Well, then just don't use the pistols, right? That's what I've been told. If you're using an easy, boring option
He's
that
so
works, it's on
salty.
you. It's not the game's fault for being unbalanced.
No, see, the problem is the game's other option isn't very exciting too, unless again you're willing to take a fucking college course and do 100 hours
And
of
also
repeatedly
and al-
grinding and memorizing animation nuances and shit like that. Like then, yeah, maybe you can force yourself through Stockholm syndrome to start having fun with this fucking game. Yeah, totally the same fucking thing as just picking up a game. Oh, it's got some nice little things going on to it, and you just naturally intuit some things, and you're just having a good old time. Totally the same fucking thing. Yeah, yeah.
and also once again going back to Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry 5 is an actually like well-designed game. It's got good hit feedback. It's got very intuitive controls. It's got good combos that are easy to remember despite having a huge breadth of them. Like it is a well-designed game whether you like it or not and whether you want to admit that it's easy or not. You're more than welcome to say it's easy. And even if I were to
It's
agree that it is a very easy game, it still doesn't stop the fact that it's still well designed because difficulty and quality are not mutually inclusive. They never have been, and I'm really fucking tired of people, especially like Mayo, who are extremely elitist, trying to make the argument that it is. I've had it from Souls fans, I've had it from Mayo. I'm fucking tired of dealing with it.
it's almost like difficulty is not the only thing that's the problem with Devil May Cry 2.
Yep. If anything, I would say the game is too hard for its own fucking good.
Oh my god, Lucy.
Yes.
Devil May Cry 5's an easy game. Devil May Cry 2's an easy game. They're basically the same fucking game.
Uh, uh, stop it, shut up.
Basically the
I'll
same
kill
game.
you.
Basically the same game.
I'm gonna fucking explode and
This is the
fucking
fucking this is the camera argument. Oh my god.
oh yeah, you're right.
Oh my
It
god.
is the fucking camera argument.
This is the camera argument that we made fun of years ago, being taken to like a whole new level, a whole new level of stupid. It's wild. And you can tell it's
Uh,
he's only making this argument because he's a salty little bitch that people called him out.
oh, absolutely, and people are still calling him out for it. I mean, fuck, we're doing it, and this
I
video is like at least a month old.
I genuinely, sincerely, honestly hope that if Under the Mayo watches any of my content ever again, it's fucking this one. I want him to understand. I don't think he can, because as we've surmised, he's fucking
It's his
stupid.
intelligence, not his integrity.
This dude's single digit IQ making Forrest Gump look like Albert fucking Einstein. No, I need Under the Mayo to listen to this, and I need to hear his response, because what could he possibly say to try and defend himself from this? It is I I
Um,
I can't even formulate what that would mean for me to hear him try and do that.
well, L, you don't understand. You're just being a big meanie head, okay? You're being a big meanie.
Shut the fuck up.
You're being mean. You remember that? You remember that
Oh,
fucking
man.
time that he made a really bad video and then you commented on it and he hadn't realized that it was you and then he realized it was you and then was like, "Oh, it's you. Go away." In his fucking YouTube comment section.
No. It was on Twitter. Back when I had Twitter, and
Oh, okay.
because God, having Twitter, why? But no, yeah, I commented on like some Twitter post. I had like a whole argument with him, and then finally, like an hour and a half later, he was like, "Oh, it's you," and just blocked me. I was like,
Yeah, after saying go away.
"You fucking pussy."
You can't forget the fact that he specifically said go away.
Yeah, no, I already know. There's no way in hell he would ever try and defend this. I would. Then again, I don't know. He's a surprising individual. Maybe he fucking will.
I feel like I feel like he 100% would defend this, and like I understand the notion, right? Because like when you say something or like you make a point, like you're inclined to defend it because you're being criticized and people are going against you and everything like that. But like sometimes you've got to take the L. I know that when me and Lovelace have talked sometimes, both of us have taken some L's in different arguments and conversations and stuff like that that we've had with each other.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you're just not right, or sometimes you just have to admit that you just don't like something, and that's okay. And that doesn't mean that it's poorly designed, because it's okay for you to dislike it. Like if you don't want to like Devil May Cry, you don't fucking have to.
I
If
think
you want games that are extremely difficult, or you want games, or you prefer games that are extremely difficult because that's just your thing, that's perfectly okay. But don't go around saying that games that aren't really, really, really difficult are bad, because that's just not the case. That's so closed-minded, and that's so like that's so short-sighted for what games can be. Dragon Quest Builders 2.
I think
Not a
like
very difficult game in the slightest. I love it to death. It's so fun. It's so enjoyable. And it's a perfect example of the fact that you don't need something to be hard to be good.
I think this video like might be the greatest example of an argument of false equivalence fallacy I've ever seen in my life. Like it's incredible how
It's
poorly
wild.
thought out and stupid this are. I'm amazed. I truly am. Under the Mayo, you've done it again.
That's what I've heard. I don't agree with that, but I'm curious what the difference is here. Setting aside...
You know, it's funny, I don't agree with it either because it's a straw man you made up to make other people look stupid.
True. And of course, as we've established many, many times, the straw man is only as strong as you make it.
Yep.
The other things that make DMC2 bad, just talking about the stylish combo-based gameplay. It seems like DMC2 is the shining example of what I've been talking about.
It's really not as well. And also the fact that like stylish, like style is at Devil May Cry at its core. It is a stylish world. It is a stylish franchise. Its characters are stylish. And the fact that Devil May Cry 2 has absolutely zero style whatsoever is part of its problem. They're not the same.
Can we
And like, yeah,
Can we just briefly reminisce on the fact that this is the same guy who said that Sifu's easy mode is too easy? Like, oh my God.
like, yeah, obviously, if you're somebody who's very experienced at games, and you find a lot of modern games nowadays easy, like, yeah, you're gonna find an easy mode easy.
Who would have thought?
Say something original.
Because I've seen DMC2 combo videos. You can do some pretty cool stylish stuff.
You
especially
sure
with
can.
Extended air juggles and aerial gunshots. You've got all these ways to customize your devil trigger using guns and grounded combo strings.
Do you have any idea
Also,
real quick, do you have any idea how many hours just for that one combo we just watched it probably took to figure that out? Like, seriously?
probably a while. I also wouldn't be surprised if that footage was modded, because there is I don't know how recently it came out, but I know there was somebody out there who made a mod for Devil May Cry 2. That was, I think it was called the Devil May Cry 2 Definitive Edition, where they changed a whole lot of shit. And the first, like, most notable change is how the combo system works and how the different weapons work for both characters.
Oh my God, could you imagine if it turned out he was using Oh my God. I don't think he is.
Don't take that.
I don't think he is.
Don't take that word for granted or anything like that. That's just I'm just saying I would not be surprised if it was.
I would not be surprised And if I would not be surprised, and if it turned out to be that way, it would. Oh my god, what a shot to the foot that would. That wouldn't even be a shooting yourself in the foot. That'd be shooting yourself in the fucking head.
Yeah, and like I sympathize too because I wouldn't be surprised if it's modded footage and Mayo just genuinely doesn't know because he doesn't know that much about the combat system. Um, but just don't take that for granted. I'm just saying I would not be surprised were that the case.
Yeah.
You can do some pretty cool stylish stuff, especially with the extended air juggles and aerial gunshots.
You know what? Another really good example. I watched RX back in the day play DMC Definitive Edition. It was his first time playing DMC Definitive, and he was playing Virgil's Downfall. As you know, Virgil's Downfall is notoriously the equivalent.
Really bad.
It's the video game equivalent to sounding yourself with a rusty nail. And there was one point where we were both just laughing so hard at how bad it was. He just whipped out this fucking insane combo on this enemy. And he was like, no, look at this. I'm fucking done with this game. Fuck this fucking game. And he just did a super ridiculous combo. And I was like, dude, that combo was actually sick. What the fuck? He was like, I hate this game so much, I'm getting good at it. Like,
Yeah, I hate it so much that it's taking up brain space.
yeah, like, I promise you, just because my buddy did a sick combo in Definitive or DMC Virgil's Downfall, and that meaning it is in fact possible for you to do cool things in Virgil's Downfall, that does not make Virgil's Downfall good. I fucking promise you.
Virgil's Downfall. Oh god, it's so bad.
Hey Lucy, what would you rather play, Virgil's Downfall or Devil May Cry 2?
Oh god, good question.
Legitimately.
Well, actually, Devil May Cry 2 because with Devil May Cry 2 I can unlock Trish.
Honestly, fucking based.
You've got all these ways to customize your devil trigger using guns and grounded combo strings. You can have fun in DMC 2. You can experiment and find crazy fun combo juggles and stylish ways to kill all the enemies in the room.
Asterisk, you just have to fucking force yourself to repeatedly play this game that is not that fun in order to give yourself Stockholm Syndrome so that you can start having fun.
And also, yeah, actually, I have nothing to add to that. My brain is fried. Yeah,
Also-
you have to play a game that's extremely bad in order to do that.
Also, I can't believe I have to say this. You can have fun with a bad video game.
Yeah, and people being good at a bad video game does not suddenly make that video game good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
I can have fun in Dead Space 3, I can have fun in Bioshock Infinite, I can have fun in Last of Us 2, I can have fun in DMC Devil May Cry, I can have fun with fucking Code Vein, Dark Souls 2. You name a bad game, I will show you how to fucking have fun with it. Devil May Cry 2 is...
Except Devil May Cry 2, it's just impossible.
No. Devil May Cry 2 is no exception. I'll show you a fucking wacky wahoo time with that video game. Virgil's Downfall, the exact same thing. I will force myself to have a fun time with it if I must. That does not make it good. You should have seen me playing Burial at Sea. Holy fucking shit. Okay, like, I need you to understand. Like, what would you give on a scale of 1 to 10 Bioshock Infinite?
I've never actually finished it, but what I played of it, easily like a 2.
All right, so I want you to imagine like what compared to that would be like a -1. Like that is Burial at Sea. And I know someone
That's pretty bad.
going to hear that and be like, "Dude, Burial at Sea is not that bad." Yes, it fucking is. Shut the fuck up. It is terrible. Burial at Sea is very bad. Anyways, back to Devil May Cry 2.
Cool boy. Bit off topic, yeah.
If you choose to. So what's
No,
the
shut up.
difference? Is it not the player's fault for thinking DMC 2 is boring if they play it in a boring way?
No.
What's the difference between DMC 2 and DMC 5? A game I like very much, but where I got a lot of pushback for saying the first playthrough starting difficulty was way too easy to pass by mindlessly mashing.
I just want to real quick. I need a certain quote.
2 is boring if they play it in a boring way.
All right, here we go.
What's the difference between DMC 2 and DMC 5?
What's the difference between Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 5? Oh boy.
So there's a lot of things. I genuinely don't think at this point we actually need to say anything. I think we've said enough about the difference between the two, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I've literally already answered this question, and the fact that the fact that a human being actually asked it is like it's perplexing. I am vexed.
I would say we've pretty deftly answered this question.
Oh man, I I'm fucking shocked.
A game I liked very much, but where I got a lot of pushback for saying the first playthrough starting difficulty was way too easy to pass by mindlessly mashing. I heard over and over that I don't understand DMC, that the point of the game is to be stylish, not to be challenged. It was apparently my fault for playing in a boring way, even though it was incredibly effective since the game was so damn easy. I'm not complaining about hypocrisy here, I'm just genuinely curious why it's okay for DMC5 and Bayonetta and Ultra Kill's first act to be largely passable using terrible mashy spammy gameplay, and it's my fault for being bored because I'm supposed to be paying attention to the style meter or ranking system or whatever. But in DMC2, it's also very easy to pass using terrible, mashy, spammy gameplay, and people consider the combat to be boring and bad, even though you can still do flashy, stylish combos.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
So we've already responded to all of this, like, to be clear.
no, yeah, we've already responded. I just think it's so fucking hilarious that once again we've got that criticism shield, very very subtle, not really, but we've got that criticism shield of I'm not complaining about hypocrisy, and then complains about very flagrant hypocrisy, or at least what's very flagrant hypocrisy in his eyes.
Yeah, what's what he perceives to be, yeah.
Yeah, despite the fact that once again people have, I would say there's a lot of people out there who have pretty deftly like explained to him. At this point, he's just not like taking in the actual information.
This
And
is
again,
this is the kind of thing, real quick, that like someone who's trying to actually defend a bad game resorts to, where they're like, well, you know, in what's a good example? In Black Ops 3 zombies, you have all these really cool weapons to fight the zombies and try and survive to a higher round. So why is it so bad for exo zombies in Advanced Warfare? And you just look at them like, motherfucker, are you serious? Like, are you really asking me this fucking question?
and I want to be clear, right? Because I know it's really hard to like. I know sometimes it can be easy to like sort of perceive otherwise, but I don't fucking care if Mayo likes Devil May Cry 5 or not, or if Mayo likes Devil May Cry. He's well within his right not to. It's when you make objective statements about a piece of media or about a piece of fiction and they're just flat out wrong that becomes the problem. And that's what, whether or not Mayo realizes it or whether or not Mayo wants to admit it or whether or not he thinks it, he's made a lot of objective statements about the Devil May Cry series as a whole, and a lot of it is just plain out flat wrong.
He is equating, he's making a lot of false equivalences and conflating things that you really shouldn't. He's saying, oh, okay, Devil May Cry 5 is a really good game, but also it's kind of easy. And as we've established, challenge is literally the only fucking thing that matters in determining whether or not you, general you, apparently, can have fun with the video game. And Devil May Cry 2 is also easy, so what's the difference? Like, gee, is there possibly anything else that could lend to Devil May Cry 5 being perceived objectively as more fun? Now, obviously, fun is hard to quantify, it's a very subjective thing, but there's a lot of objective things that you can look at that make Devil May Cry 5 a more enjoyable and rewarding experience, and perhaps
Mm-hmm.
that would explain why there are so literally millions of more people who find it so much more enjoyable than Devil May Cry fucking 2.
The game that literally nobody fucking remembers and nobody wants to play. I wonder why. I wonder what the difference is. I
I,
can't fucking say.
I don't actually know the times of these movies, so they're probably going to be off. I'm just giving an example. You know, The Human Centipede is 90 minutes. Citizen Kane is 90 minutes. What's the difference? Why don't people enjoy them? Like, gee, I fucking wonder, right?
It's just because people aren't ready for a movie like Human Centipede.
Have you seen those movies?
I saw the first one. It was like just a pretty mid boring experience overall with a few like semi like scenes that are very clearly for shock value, but because they didn't actually like commit to it, they're not that shocking.
Oh, you should see the sequels.
Yeah, I and on
Oh, you're cutting out.
which is cool, I suppose. Oh, I heard that the sequel just went all in on fucking grossing people out, which is cool, I guess.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, it's almost like there's more than just a and I. First of all, their difficulties are not fucking comparable. Let's be clear. But
One
even
hundred percent.
even if I were to humor that fucking stupid notion, Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 5 having equivalent difficulty, if you compare Devil May Cry 2's Dante Must Die to human difficulty in Devil May Cry 5, um, even if we were to humor that, there's, I dare say, a bit more that goes into these video games that might be considered with why people would find one more fun than the other.
Nah, they're basically the exact same game.
Basically the same fucking game.
You want to be doing in a DMC game. There's a ranking system at the end of every level, there's a style meter,
Oh my
and
God, is he
surely
serious?
trying to maintain them as high as possible equals playing faster. So why isn't it the player's fault for finding DMC too boring? It's a serious question. I'm not trying to start a fight here, guys. I know there's a
Well, you're seriously
No,
stupid, so that's why I got seriously
yeah,
mad.
I cannot believe that you are genuinely serious about this discussion and genuinely serious about this question. It fucking baffles me.
Yeah, I know there's gonna be
Yes,
someone out there who's like, guys, he's not trying to start a fight. Why are you getting so mad? I'm mad because he's so fucking stupid that it blows me away.
I also don't believe that he's not trying to start some kind of fight because he has done everything in his power to take pot shots at people who are fans of games with style meters like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and Ultra Kill, and saying how fucking easy all of those games are. And this is basically just the culmination of that. I have lost the ability to perceive him with enough goodwill to believe that he just isn't actually trying to start a fight. I think he is.
So it comes down once again to integrity versus intelligence. And
True.
like I said, we've caught Mayo a couple of times having some contradicting statements, and that would lead one to believe he's dishonest. But if I'm gonna say it once again, if I am to believe he is genuinely serious about this question about what is the difference between Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 5, then he is a fucking moron. He is fucking stupid. He is a fucking idiot. I cannot believe that any human being with an ounce of self-respect would genuinely follow and support someone who asks a question that fucking stupid. Like, this exceeds everything he has ever said about any other game to me. Like, complaining that Sifu's easy mode is too easy, like, I thought that was the peak. I genuinely did. And he always manages to top it. What could you possibly say to
So
out stupid the question, what is the difference between Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 5? Like, I'm blown away by how stupid of a question that is and how genuine he appears to be about it.
So, if I were to take the notion seriously of the fact that this man just cannot, for the life of him, understand what about Devil May Cry 5 and what about Devil May Cry 2 are so different, um, I would say to be as brief as possible because I don't even want to give too much fucking dignity to this stupid fucking line of thinking. Devil May Cry 1 or Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 4 might share superficial similarities, but like everything but the most like basic superficial cosmetic shit is complete night and fucking day. Like they are not the same game in the fucking slightest. And if you play with them and you pay attention specifically, like you actually take in what's going on in each game, you would know that. You would 100% see exactly what everybody means. You would see what the difference is.
And real quick, to reference something Mayo always likes to fall back on, let's talk about the average player experience. Now, obviously, I don't have any footage to back this up, because I'm just going off of my own first experiences from many years ago on my PlayStation. My first time playing Devil May Cry 3, bear in mind my first Devil May Cry game, um, I was not very good at it, but I can still think of many moments where I was like, oh fuck, I got like a really sick combo off on this enemy, and that felt really good. I'm going to try and recreate that. I'm going to try and see how I can connect that to other combos and how I can, pull off these kinds of things against different enemies and blah, 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 blah. Playing Devil May Cry 2 for the first time and genuinely trying to, because again, I said earlier, I recognize, okay, I can like stagger lock enemies, but like maybe I can have more fun not just using the guns, right? I tried that. So going off and I could not like the crazy combos that he showed earlier. That's not something that your average Devil May Cry 2 player is doing anything close to. They're not. It's not gonna happen.
No.
Go
And of
watch
course, the reason
go watch Kroby Cat's Devil May Cry 2 video. You can argue about how serious you're supposed to take that video, but like I can't imagine at some point in the video he didn't think to himself, I need to try something to have a little bit of fun, right? Anyways, go on.
I forgot what I was going to say. Genuinely.
That's okay. It's the brain rot of Under the Mayo. We survived it
Yeah,
last time, but this time it's just in a whole league of its
taking
own.
its toll. But also,
Oh yeah, real quick, I said earlier that this is Mayo at 3% power. Anyways, go on.
oh good God, I never want to see this again.
Oh no.
4% power is just mayo on a sandwich. Um, yeah, there's also the fact that like Devil May Cry 2 is just really unintuitive, and that's like the biggest difference, I would say. But again, I don't really care about like I don't really fucking care about this line of thinking. I like for example, right, I'm looking on Steam, okay? Fucking I'm looking at my achievements list, right? 19% of Devil May Cry HD collection players have gotten past the Orango era. 19% of Devil May Cry players have gotten past mission fucking 3 on DMC 2. Like it's just a bad fucking game. There's nothing else to say about it.
Sorry, I was letting McAdam.
It's okay.
Yeah, the Steam statistics are a bit questionable, in fairness, but I get the spirit of what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's true. Most people I've met who played Devil May Cry, actually, I think literally everyone I've met, like in real life, who's also played Devil May Cry 2, has been like, I couldn't get past the first or second mission, and it's like I don't
Yeah,
blame.
because it's so fucking boring.
Yeah, it's like I don't blame you. No one is calling Devil May Cry 5 boring because the normal difficulty is kind of slightly easier for very experienced hack and slash players. No one is fucking doing that except for Under the Mayo.
And people who agree with Under the Mayo, but we don't really care about them because they're fucking morons.
I'm just saying, if you look, you got if any self-respecting person who follows and supports somebody who asks the question, what is the difference between Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 5? You probably need a moment of introspection because I I can't imagine no person that I respect, if they asked that question, could I respect anymore? I just couldn't. If Lucy asked that question, I would like C's would be dead for the billionth time. I don't know.
True, and this time it would not come back. And you know what? That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Fundamental philosophical disagreement between myself and the Style Meter fans, but this is not meant.
And once again, you're telling me you're not trying to start a fight, and yet you're using this very exaggerative, very like flowery language to describe the people who enjoy style meter games, very clearly trying to make them like that's a very clear tactic to try and make them look unreasonable or fucking insane by saying shit like that.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe
what you're doing.
maybe he's too stupid to realize it, but what he's doing is invoking tribalism. He for years has had this argument that people who disagree with him about style meters are people who don't want to have challenge in a game, which, tells his followers, oh, these are like fucking casuals, who cares what they think about games, right? But also he's a first time player, he's a casual, so go easy on him, But anyways, putting that aside, it's now an issue of like the style meter fans versus me, and I don't understand why this very gigantic gaping plot hole, as he perceives it, is okay for these people, quote unquote, that I have antagonized for years. So I'm just trying to have a nice little discussion. Like, no, you're fucking not, dude. Shut up. At least be honest about
Yeah,
it.
you're very clearly antagonizing people, and you very clearly want to get a reaction out of them,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Just be fucking honest about it. Sometimes it's okay to make fun of people,
Like
but
at
you
least
got to know when to do.
at least
You got to know who to make fun of and when to make fun of them, and you can't be wrong when you do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because it's like I've said before, you know, the more arrogant you are, the worse it is when you're wrong. Um, you know, I make fun of a lot of things that Elden Ring fans will say in response to some of my criticisms in my videos. You know, I'll use that voice of like, well, I love this if you just blah blah blah, like that kind of thing. But I try to make it very clear that first of all, I'm only referring to a very specific group of people, and second, that like I make various concessions in my videos that like I understand why someone else would feel the opposite way of how I feel about this, but when it comes to this, I don't get it. Anyways, yeah, Mayo's full of shit is what I'm trying to get at. I'm
To
I,
be
I'm losing like my like when I try to make an extensive point, it's like I'm losing my grasp because
Yeah,
my brain is
I'm
rotted.
fucking, I'm having trouble formulating long thought.
hostile.
How is real quick, how is it that during the Devil May Cry 2 video of Under the Mayo that we're having the most brain rot compared to any? This is the one we were
It's
supposed to agree on, Mayo. This was the one. You fucked it up.
it's the mayonnaise special. It's what he's good at.
I'm
He's
not
good at
trying to start a
making
fight
other
here,
stupid
guys.
points.
I know there's a fundamental philosophical disagreement between myself and the Style Meter fans.
No, there's not. There's just a fundamental inability for you to understand there's a difference between DMC2 and DMC5. Oh my god.
Which you just refuse to accept is the case.
It's fucking... It's mind-boggling.
But this is not meant to be hostile. I just want to know what you personally think the difference is, and I invite you to comment below.
Well, we've certainly given our comments, I would say, in this video anyways.
Yep, and God knows you. I don't even fucking know. It's You're so dumb. You're such a fucking moron.
He's a dumb poo-poo is what I think.
All people say, I just ask that everyone state their views calmly and respectfully.
I will not be calm or respectful about this. I need to explain the difference between Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 5 to you. I will not be calm. I will not be calm and civil about it, motherfucker. This is just gonna show gameplay. Like, is he?
God. Moving on, there are some things I like about DMC2.
Okay.
All of the boss
It was like an IGN moment where you're watching an IGN video game review and they just show like 5 seconds of a clip that you're just like, why'd you show that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, clearly he's trying to make the point that it's boring, but if you're trying to use that to punctuate the fact that both Devil May Cry 5 and Devil May Cry 2 are boring, I'm sorry, you're only half right no matter how hard you try.
Yeah. Oh, you know, we were talking earlier about like bosses that had potential and like arenas that were cool. I think the Furia Taurus could have been really cool, but unfortunately it's poo-poo. Like I really see the potential in that boss. I don't know why. I think it's badass looking.
Yeah, it's a cool looking boss. Visually speaking, it would fit. I mean, with a little bit of editing, it would fit right into any other Devil May Cry game.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I think like I really like the idea. Even though I know artistically some people might find it boring compared to other things in the series, but I like the idea of Dante being in like a military hangar or something that's very
Our world.
yeah, like something that's easier to grasp and like lock in on, and it's like, oh, Dante's here now, he's gonna like fuck it up or something like that, you know?
Yeah, it's because it's easily recognizable, and it's cool to see somebody that like is very foreign to us in an environment that we recognize.
Yeah, kind of like
That's why Transformers series are always set on like Earth instead of alien planets. It's because we
yeah,
recognize Earth.
it's kind of like well, I mean, yeah, you get the idea. I don't want to continue.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
bosses
Your point is
look
made.
cool. They may be bad fights, but I like how they look.
Same.
The ability to dodge with a single button feels a lot better to me, since having it tied to lock on in this game would be awful, considering how you almost never want to lock on because it messes with your combos. The wall running looks really cool, but it's absolutely useless. I only ever did it by accident when I was spamming roll to get through these spaces faster, which I think is a thing. The wall run makes me think of Ninja Gaiden and how useful it was there. Ah, Ninja Gaiden, that's a great game. Maybe the next half of this video should be about that. As I said,
To get it, because that's what he did with his Sekiro Shadows Die Twice video.
and I haven't seen that video, but I guarantee it was very fucking awful then.
I remember it being bad, and bear in mind, I am someone who very openly criticizes Sekiro. I don't think it's a very good game. Like the vast majority of people seem to think it's one of the best games ever, but no, I think it's pretty mid, honestly, pretty bad in some cases. Some of it's great, I will say.
I have not finished it. I will not comment for now.
I mean,
Although I do have it. So
for what it's worth, I literally made it to the final boss, and after like 5 tries, I was just really bored and I quit. I'm literally on the final boss, and I can't push myself to finish it. I'm so bored with it. And I know that's gotta piss somebody off. It's like you're on the final boss of this game that I love, and you won't finish it. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, I don't enjoy it, man. I feel like when I reach the final boss, and I reach the final phase of the final boss, and I can say I don't enjoy this game, I probably am. I don't imagine there's really anything else that's gonna change my mind, you know?
yeah,
Said before, I like the directional combo system despite it not working with lock-on, and I really don't mind the game not telling you about how they work, just like the delayed button combos of DMC1.
except this is completely and totally wrong because Devil May Cry 1 told you exactly how to do every single move, but whatever, who fucking cares.
Which that game also didn't tell you about.
Not only that,
it's
but
really
this is just maybe it's a me thing, but doesn't it sound like he's doing the same thing he does with every other game where he's like, well, you know, I like this, and then he's gonna go and explain why it's like the biggest fucking pile of dog shit ever.
Yeah,
Like this is
kind of.
this feels
I
like
mean, Grant,
this feels like the way he closes out all of these videos, which makes me start to wonder: is he really like? Does he feel the same way about this game that he does them? I don't know.
right, I forgot about that. That was his critique style or like his reviewing style, where he'll say something positive, say another, like he'll say like 2 or 3 or 4 positive things, and then immediately undercut it with a bunch of negative shit. I completely forgot about that. I forgot that was just how he reviews shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's like how he closes out every fucking video, except for stuff about like Doom Eternal, where he's just like, "Yep, it's the best fucking game ever."
oh God.
easy to just naturally stumble upon them in combat. You realize your character is doing something and you don't know how you did it, so you can experiment to figure it out. I think that's fine. But these very small positives are far outweighed by the negatives. Maybe if DMC2 had another year of development, it could have been saved. I'm done though.
Wait, no, but I thought if it was just a little bit harder, then it would be fucking amazing, right? That's how that works, right?
Yeah, and I would definitely say this is the hardest Devil May Cry game ever.
Why is he pretending that?
Not for the right reasons, but you know.
Why is he pretending that the game has problems besides its difficulty? Like, what do you mean? Wait, the game. Wait a minute. There's like differences between this and Devil May Cry 5 beyond the difficulty? What? Are you sure?
No fucking way, dude. No fucking way.
You fucking no cap, bro. You for real right now, bro?
I really wanted to stick through to the end because its badness is kind of fascinating.
Oh, did he not beat it?
14 broke me. You're running through these giant empty streets.
Oh, he didn't even beat it. I forgot about that. He didn't even beat the fucking game.
Okay. So,
I want to let this one slide because it's Devil May Cry 2, but at the same time, this is completely on par with his approach to almost like every fucking game that he reviews. Is like, if he doesn't like it, he won't like finish it. He'll only like half finish it, and it's just like, bro, what the fuck?
So, I've said it before. If someone doesn't beat a game, but they still want to talk about it, totally fine. My gaming backlog, I got games on there that I didn't beat. One of them being Sekiro, because I got to the final boss, and then I said, fuck it. I would not, however, dedicate a video to Sekiro and reviewing it, and then be like, yeah, and I didn't beat it, even though I am literally at the fucking end. At the same time, it's Devil May Cry 2. If you give up on it, I totally understand. But also, I'm kind of legitimately curious if he'd gotten all the way to that point, if Mayo would have been like, not gonna lie, Despair and Body kind of bussin'.
Despair and Body do be kind of bossing though.
Part of me think, what's really funny? What would have probably happened was the Despair and Body would have kicked his ass, and then he would have used some cheese tactic like he did in Mundus, and then he would have said it's bad too.
Probably, yeah, I could 100% see that.
Even though, and Devil May Cry 2 is a fucking bad game, but Despair Embodied is. If
He
I
goes hard.
if I could just like if literally every level was just fighting the Despair Embodied, like the game would be 20 times better. Like, you know,
True.
just put the Despair Embodied in different boss rooms. That's all I need. You know.
It's trying to 4 blue orbs so you can open a door, and I've gone in circles 3 times, passing the same respawning enemies every time, and then I just decided I don't want to do this anymore.
I will say, if this was what killed, like, why not just Google where they are? You know, like, there's no shame in that. I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely not. I've had to when I was a kid, I had to Google where these fucking things were every time that I played the game because for some reason, when I was in like high school, I was determined to like actually play this game multiple times and like through to Dante Must Die. To this day, it is still the only Devil May Cry game that I have not been on Dante Must Die at least once.
That's kind of funny.
And you know what? I don't think that'll be changing anytime soon.
And I mean, for what it's worth, like I said, I don't think there's any shame in looking up a guide unless it's for a game where if you just like go in with a guide, then I'm like, well, okay, maybe don't do that. But like, you know, I learned as a kid when I was like, how old? What? I don't even remember how old I was. But when I first played Ocarina of Time, I looked up guides most, not all of the time, but there were definitely occasions where I looked it up because I was just like, I'm like 7 or something. I don't fucking know where it is. I just want to play the game that I'm really enjoying. It's totally fine. Just do that. Like, if you just have to find a couple of items in Devil May Cry 2, no one's gonna be like, oh, your fucking critique is invalid because you looked up where the fucking things were so that you weren't so bored. You know, like, there's no shame in that.
No, absolutely not. I agree.
I don't think he's
I
saying there
agree.
is shame in that or anything. I'm just saying, like, you know, you could have just looked up a guide and got through this in like 3 minutes, maybe. Like, just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done. DMC1 deserved a full video, I gave it nearly 20 minutes, but here, there's just not much more I want to talk about. DMC2 is without a doubt one of the worst major studio games I've ever played, maybe ever made, and I'd like to forget it immediately and just move on to
I actually wouldn't go as far as to say as it's the worst studio game ever made. There's been some pretty fucking bad games out there besides DMC2.
Bro really needs to play Last of Us 2 and then get back to me on this one.
DMC3, which I will be doing soon. See you in the next video.
Holy shit, yeah, I still haven't played The Last of Us 2. And I by absolutely no means intend to change that anytime soon.
I was gonna say, if you ever change that, I want to be there because, oh boy, that would be something. Um, wow, we're not even 2 hours in.
Really? That's fascinating.
1 hour and 52 minutes and 50 seconds. That is what we are at right now.
I'm very much sure that our audience will appreciate these bite-sized episodes.
Someone's gonna be watching one of our episodes for the first time. It's gonna be this one. They're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, 2 hours was short. What the fuck?" I mean, in fairness, we agreed pretty much with most of his criticisms. It wasn't until he started trying to make a fallacious, stupid argument comparing it to Ultra Kill and DMC5 and Bayonetta where we just lost our minds at the eldritch horror that was the fucking mind of this person. I hesitate to call him a person. He's kind of I don't know if Under the Mayo is a person. He's more like a
Yeah.
he's more like an amoeba that's like from the future, so it's like really advanced, but it's still an amoeba, you know?
Yeah. Overall,
Oh boy.
I would say that like it was a pretty solid video up until he started to once again try to bring in criticism of other games and specifically tried to
Call people
stab at the
hypocrites.
fans. He just cannot stop stabbing at people that he disagrees with. And you know, in fairness, like if you disagree with somebody, you disagree with somebody, but just at this point it's just fucking tasteless.
This was not the game to compare to fucking Ultra Kill and DMC5 and Bayonetta.
What's the difference? You don't understand, L. There is no difference between Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 5. Same game. same fucking game.
Lucy, we had
That's the
someone ask.
problem.
I'm never gonna get over this. We had a person, allegedly, ask, as in allegedly they're a person, ask the question. What is the difference between Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry? I know I have said this so many times. I cannot get over. Like there is a person who asked that question. That's like, could you imagine? This is a random fucking analogy. It's dumb, but just hear me out. Could you imagine someone like murders your whole family, right? And like literally
Yeah.
murders your whole family right in front of you. And then they look at you and ask you, I didn't see you getting this upset about the Holocaust or 9/11. Why? What is the difference? Like,
Oh.
mother, like, you look at this dude who just killed your family, like, dude, what, you just, you pause, you're like, wait, what? I'm saying under the Mayo just killed my family is how I'm feeling right now. Um,
Yeah, no, I want a restraining order.
I,
I've
how do we even, like, how do you close this out? Like,
what's funny is that I think his DMC3 video was even worse from what I remember of it.
oh yeah, we got that DMC3 video. I think the real question, well, no, that's not even I was gonna say, should we do the DMC3 video and then the, what is it, like, why I like God of War more than Devil May Cry? Um, I feel like we're gonna have a lot more to talk about with those videos, though, so they can be separate parts. I would
Yeah,
think so,
yeah,
right?
they should definitely be separate parts.
Yeah. I like the
Um,
I like that omnibus idea from earlier, though. I'm like really thinking like, oh yeah, like C's. I don't know, like one. Uh, Obviously these most recent couple. Just like putting all the like the Mayo stuff specifically in like one big video, like just a little
mhm.
compilation for people to just sit back and enjoy while they, like they do. I would imagine most of the time with their stuff and just have it on in the background while they like play games. Oh man, Lucy,
Yes, ESL.
am I like? I don't know where I was gonna go with that. The brain rot's killed me. I'm fucked right now. I really am. I've I'm in more pain right now than I was yesterday morning at 5 a.m. when I woke up with a kidney stone
Kidney
rattling around in
stone.
my
Yeah.
guts. Ah, man.